introduce myself while we're waiting for the last minute. My name is Brian Kale. I'm from Goose Creek District. That's Loudoun County. So that's not too far away. I'm on the far west side. I have been teaching at University of Scouting 4 years, 5 years. Been teaching at Powwow 7 years-ish. I'm a Cub master. I've been doing that for 5 years-ish. I tried to put it down this last blue and gold. It didn't stick. I'm still Cub master. I guess I will be for a while. My middle son is a wolf. My youngest son, he'll be a tiger next year. So maybe I have 5 more years as a Cub master, maybe 6, maybe 7, hard to say. I'm also a district roundtable commissioner for Cub Scouting. So I channel my inner child very well. This is what I do. All right, let's get going, because I got a lot of stuff. Hopefully you're all here for Cub Scouting in the outdoors, right? Yeah? 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 That's good. That's what I'm going to teach. Okay. How many of you, real quickly, know all 12 core values? Go! Nobody! That's right, I don't either. And I've been teaching it for years. But you know what? Inherently, you know them all. You may not be able to name them off by the name, but inside, you know what they are. You know what we're trying to teach because every single one of these are valuable components. Come on in. Come on in. Are valuable components that we want our kids to know, to emulate, be part of their character. Right? Now, I hope every one of you are remembering that if what you're doing doesn't have at least one of these 12 in it, you shouldn't do it. Right? Right. One thing I tell my roundtable group is always, before you're doing an activity, identify for yourself, which one am I doing? By doing that before your meeting, you're assuring that you're going to focus on it. Real easy to, after your program, go, well, what did we do? Well, we did perseverance. There was some sport, some citizenship in there, maybe a little responsibility. No. Identify it beforehand so you know what you're focusing on. Okay? Well, we're going to go outdoors. You should focus on them all. Here is right outside of the Cub Scout Outdoor Program Guide. Okay? A lot of words. Words. Let's get this one. Promise, outdoor fun, excitement, and adventure. The rest are just words. And that right there encapsulates what parents expect and what the boys expect. When they become Cub Scouts, they're not thinking, oh, it's more school. I love school. Let's do more school. We should stay inside and do lots of school. No, they're not. They're thinking fun, camping, fires, sticks, knives. That's what they're thinking, right? That's sort of what we're telling them too. There's the fun and adventure. All right? So let's define a couple words. I love courses that define words at the beginning. No, I didn't. But I do it anyway. Outside. You ever thought about what outside means? Without a boundary. And beyond the typical. How about adventure? Exciting. Very unusual. Bold action. Take a chance. A dare. Okay? So scouting equals outing. You've heard that, right? Let's put the outing in scouting. Come on, we've all said it, right? It's right up there with an hour a week. We all say it all the time. And outdoor fun equals excitement. We just saw that a moment ago. A plus B. Well, then scouting equals excitement, right? Yeah. The answer is yes. Yes, it does. And maybe not in the zombie way. Yes. It should be fun and exciting. Okay, so why do we do it? What are the benefits? Let's think about for just a moment the typical life of a boy between the ages of 6 and 11. Cub Scout ages, right? What's their life entail? Get up, go to school, come home, hopefully play outside if it's not raining or snowing. Listen to mom say, don't bring, come on in. Say, hey, don't track the dirt in. Go do your chores. Come in. We're gonna have dinner in a minute. You done your homework? How was your day? That's about their day, right? Every single day. And then you throw in, we're gonna go play basketball or baseball. Okay, come out here for 1 hour and go, and we're done. Let's go do something else. That's their life. Okay? Boys spend their day confined. Boys are horrible at being confined. They are the worst animals ever about sitting still and not being out there running with their hair on fire. Right? We all see boys, right? Those of us who've been little boys, we know that's true too, right? Okay? Nature's perfect. there's bugs, there's dirt, there's water, all kinds of craziness. And it's big and wide open. And no one's saying, you know what, use your inside voice. I encourage my boys, yell as loud as you want. Just don't yell fire or help. Okay, that's all I'm asking. When you use those, they better mean something. Okay? But have fun. Okay, how about fitness and exercise? My 3 boys get almost 0 exercise, unless I kick them out of the house. We're going to go play on the iPad. We're playing Wii, that's exercise, right? No, it's not. Come on. You know, it's a chance to take a break. Fresh air. You know, your mama used to tell you all the time, go outside and get some fresh air. And we would. And we'd stay out until it was so dark that she'd yell, she'd stand on the front porch and she'd yell, and you'd hear, no matter how far away you were, I gotta go. And you would run home. Aren't those good times? Okay, how about else? Indoor distractions. Yep, electronics. Not saying electronics are bad, I'm just saying that they can't be the only thing kids are doing besides school. Okay? New experiences. The average child is not doing anything outside. And if they are doing something outside, they're doing it on a perfectly groomed soccer field, baseball field, football field, somewhere like that, right? That's where they're going. They're not just going out in the woods. They're not just going out to a field. They're doing it in really nice little confined little spaces. Okay? Outdoors is fun. Cub Scouts is fun. The boys want fun. That's it. I tell my boys before I ever tell you, I said, what are we going to do today? I don't know. We're going to have fun. Okay, what are we going to do? And they'll go, I don't know. I just told you, we're having fun. And they're like, look at me. Last time they're like, yes, sir, we're going to have fun. I'm like, there you go. And typically they laugh because they know we're going to have fun. That's what we're aiming for. All right, so why have a program in the outdoors? Scouting has always been traditionally about outdoor activities. Lord Baden-Powell wanted boys to have the opportunity to learn outdoor skills and leadership. That's what he did. Let's face it, that's what it was. And it's what it's always been. It's the way it should be. Parents are drawn, and the boys are drawn, to being outside and, experiencing the world around us. They may not admit it. They may say, I don't really want to get dirty, but once they're out there, a good time. Unusual memories. For those of you who are scouts in one way or another, Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, are your memories of meetings or your memories of camping, campfires, or being outside? I can't remember a single meeting other than getting my Bobcat badge because they held you upside down at the time when they put the badge on. And that's the only reason I remember that. But that was all I can remember from indoor meetings. But I remember tons of camping trips and hiking trips and going out and fires and bugs. And I remember a leader who would go and he pick up what looked like scat, basically deer poop, and he'd pop one out. I actually knew it was a piece of candy, but I didn't know that as a boy. I was like, oh my gosh! But I remember that so vividly. That's the kind of fun stuff outside. It encourages participation. Okay, how about scouting? Here is actually out of the book of things that they believe the outdoor experience does. There's a lot of words there too, and they're all very good, but let's boil it down to things that we actually latch onto. Come on, you. There you go. Family togetherness. At a den meeting or pack meeting, how many of your parents are in the back with their phones? Or talking to another parent? I can't believe you did that. Right? That's what they're doing while the boys are having a little activity. Unless you actually go out, you grab a parent, and you bring them up there to be a cheer with you, do a cheer or a song, more than likely they're about 20% there. Right? You get them out camping or outside, you got them. They're captured. And they're doing a family activity. And truthfully, they have a great time. New challenges, teamwork, okay? Gives them an opportunity to lead. What does that mean? When you're outside, it gives you lots of opportunities of small tasks, small fun things to do. And you say, you have the boys choose for themselves. So how would you like to do this? Okay, we're there for safety, 100%, all the time. Safety, safety, safety. But we get the opportunity outside to allow the boys to try different things. And they get to try outside, which is the big, wild, open adventure. And by that leadership, and even if they're failing, it doesn't matter because there is no failing in scouting. There's just, let's try it again. Scouting is the only organization I know of who actually you learn the best, and we're encouraged to fail because then we learn teamwork, we learn critical thinking, we learn to get up, dust ourselves off, and try again. Right? Great opportunities. Okay, so what can you do outside? Okay, some real basic ones. Meetings, people are like, oh, really? I don't know about meetings. Hikes, camping, sports, all the time. Okay? You can do anything outside. Anything. But there's that bad old P word. Everyone's like, oh man, every time we got a plan. Planning's boring. Planning's hard. Planning is the difference between a program that goes part of the way and another one that goes all the way. Okay? It's the difference between a program that is incredibly memorable and one it's not. Take time to do a little bit of planning. Alright? So what are you planning? Your location, yeah. Who's doing what? Sure. What ifs? Ooh, I hope you're doing that. If you're outdoors, what if it rains? What if you hear lightning? Well, you don't ever hear lightning, you hear thunder. What if you hear thunder? I hear lightning too. What if you have a bad storm that's coming up? What if something is going on, or you've got an area that you need to worry about? There's a creek or whatever. These are what ifs you need to come through. Safety, always safety. So, okay, let's talk location. So they should be magical places. Places that transport the boys, their memory, their thoughts, right? No, come on. Why put that pressure on yourself? You're going to go look all day long for a beautiful, wonderful setting like this in an outdoor room. If you've got an access to that, great, use it. But let's face it, the vast majority of us need it to be also a little easy, right? It's wonderful to have an amphitheater like that. We're going to have an amazing campfire, and things are going to be spooky and eerie, and there's going to be a hoot owl every so often that's going to really get their attention. Great, if you got that, but let's be real, okay? These are wonderful. But ultimately, here's the places we really are. Okay? Is that bad? No. It's not bad at all. You're outside. You're having a fun time. These are wide open spaces. These are opportunities to learn something new. Okay? School grounds, parks, camps, sports field, trails, someone's backyard. The backyard can be exciting if you really make it right. Okay? You got to make sure, though, you're looking at leave no trace. If you're going places that are not, like for instance, a park, if you're going to go down this trail. Notice this trail has all this wonderful ferns and all this foliage. Having the boys traipse through there and rip things up and everything is not what we should be doing as scouts. You should be respecting the area and trying to do a leave no trace. For Cub Scouts, that's sometimes hard. Boy Scouts hard, but Cub Scouts sometimes it's really hard. Typically it's the parents who've got the problem. Okay? And we need to make sure it's safe. Alright, so what are you going to think about? How many boys are going to be there? And their parents, and their siblings. If I'm going to have a den meeting, I can have a much smaller space than if I'm going to bring out a pack of 100 people. I bring out a pack with 100, plus the parents, 200, plus the siblings, 250, plus, we'll just call it the margin, 300. All of a sudden I got 300 people. I know, we'll put them in my backyard. It's a quarter of an acre, it's fine. Well, no, not really. You're going to be bumping each other and really can't do anything. Or, hey, we're going to do some frisbee golf. Perfect place for frisbee golf, deep in the woods. No. Look at the kind of places you need. What are the requirements? Are there any bathroom facilities? Okay, for the boys, they may not care. Let's be realistic. Ooh, you pee on a tree? Sweet. For the moms, they're going to care the heck out of it. And most of the dads too. And out of the little siblings, oh, we need to be able to do this. You got to think of these things through. Bathroom facilities are a must. And is it one porta-john for your entire 350 people there, or not? Think through these things in advance. What about first aid requirements? Does anybody in your group know first aid? Do you have a first aid kit? Is it appropriately sized for your group? Does it have things in there you actually know how to use? Because let's face it, you open up a first aid kit and it has a whole bunch of things you don't know what to do with them, it's useless. Also, if something happened and little Timmy falls and breaks his arm, we're dead, but we got to be aware of these things. How far is help? know these things. Okay? How about shelter? All of a sudden a storm rolls in, especially when we get in like May, when the storms roll in like that. Do you have somewhere that is the appropriate shelter to run to? Does everybody know where it is? You gotta be thinking these things through. This sounds so much harder than meeting in the cafeteria, doesn't it? When you're meeting in the cafeteria, I just worry about whether or not the chair's in the right spot. Gosh, it's so much harder. It's so much better. Okay? Don't forget to use protection, always. Just because you're outside doesn't mean that you have got to get out of jail free card there. Okay? Use protection is always in effect. You know, adult and a child going off down a trail is not appropriate. Too deep. Remember it. Adults stationed in certain areas. Okay? Let's face it, your parents will not step forward and be there as your safety net unless you tell them specifically what their job is. Right? Some will do better than others, but the vast majority will not realize exactly what their responsibility is. You know what? There is a pump station over there. Can you keep an eye out and make sure no kids go to the pump station? Got it. There's their job. Okay? And they know what their job is. It is important because if you do not give them specifics, they'll get lost in a little conversation. Somebody else is doing it. Somebody in the brown shirt is doing it. It's okay. You got to tell them. Make sure the adults know the buddy system. Where's Timmy? Oh, I sent him to the bathroom. With whom? Well, he doesn't need to go back. He's fine by himself. Not on a scout union, is not. This is our buddy system. This is what we do. Make sure they understand the rules. Make sure they follow the rules. Because if all of a sudden the kids are getting two different stories here, it throws them, into the fact that they don't understand how important the buddy system is. And it's there for a reason, for safety. Okay? And know who your first aider is. The last moment you need to figure out who actually has any kind of knowledge about first aid is when you actually need the first aid. That's not the time. Okay? And make sure everybody knows who has a cell phone and what kind of coverage you got. I got no bars. Okay, you're not my 911 dialer. Oh, but you're doing well. Good. You're my 911 dialer. Just know that. All right? Know your weather. In today's cell phones and such, weather bug or whatever, we're all looking at our radar and we can just expand out. We can see the entire United States. Well, I know in exactly 4 hours and 3 minutes it's going to be a storm right here. And there's all these apps that show lightning strikes and everything else. Knowing your weather is important. Knowing your area and what you can do during those weathers are important too. How about danger areas? What do I mean by danger areas? How about, there's one of the places we go that has a, for lack of better words, a pit, which used to be an old place where, there used to be a house there for ice used to be stored. And it's about a 6.5 foot drop. It's way in the woods. It's marked. Let me think, how often do kids stop and go, I shouldn't go in here? In fact, my parents don't even do that. Let's go look at the hole. Man, that's a deep hole. Okay, you have someone falling and all of a sudden you have an issue. You got to know where these are. You need to advise the parents where they are, and you need to set the rules for them. Okay? Fire safety. Have the gear for it. Know what's required there. Communication plan. I'll talk more about that in just a second. All right. Have you ever lost a child? Everyone's like, I'm not going to say yes to that. Are you kidding me? They'll drum me out of scouting before I can blink. I've lost a child. It was the scariest 15 minutes of my entire life. It was horrific. And let me tell you right now a few things to make sure it never happens to you. This was a parade, okay? And we're going along, and the parents, I'm not sure exactly what they were thinking, said, oh, you just stay on the float, you'll be fine. Didn't advise any of the leaders that, by the way, the parents weren't going to be walking, which they were supposed to be with us. At the very end, I'm taking the float apart. Parent comes up and goes, where's little Timmy? Sorry, what? Here, Timmy. Oh, I know Timmy. Where is he? With you. Because we all were here together as parents. No. We put him on the float. And we told him to meet him at the other end of the parade. Sorry, what? Next thing I know, boom, boom. I need a cop. I'm getting descriptions. The parent is hysterical. We got a lost child, and horrific. It is like a heart attack. It's like someone grabbing your heart and just squeezing so hard. It's like, okay, breathe. Remember, We gotta do what's the right thing here. Okay? My pack made several major mistakes right there. Number one, making sure absolutely, before any parent is even allowed to walk away from an area, that we know what kids we have and what their coverage is. Okay? Is their parent gonna stay there? Is the parent gonna not? They should be staying. But let's say they're not, because there's always things, oh, well, you know, our daughter has this, and we'll be back in a minute. It's like, okay, that's fine as long as I know, or at least two leaders know. And that little boy has been brought here, and both leaders looks him in the face, goes, okay, I know which one of my boys who look exactly the same in their uniforms is going to be our responsibility. Oh, and by the way, parent, you are absolutely not going to be picking this boy up until you talk to one of these two leaders and say, I've got him, and we will do a handoff. These are the kind of things you've got to do. We did not have every single one of I did not have every single one of my den leaders' cell phone numbers. Horrible mistake. I had every one but one. Guess which one the boy was with? The one I didn't have. That's exactly right. Parents should have the leader's cell phone numbers. I should have, or someone should have every single parent's cell phone number. Did you come and pick up Timmy? Yeah, I've got him. Okay, well, please next time let us know. You know, you've got to have this kind of information. These things, the plan up front, are huge. Don't underestimate. Oh, it never happened. I can't tell you. I've been in, as a scout leader, at least 20 parades. Okay? That one time was the worst moment ever. And it's because I had not followed all of these things right here. Plan it out. It just takes a minute more. Just a little bit. Educate your parents, educate your leaders. Because being outside means we don't have four walls of cinder blocks to sort of keep the boys from bouncing around and out. Right? There's only a door and a window. And if I see a boy going out the window, I'm definitely going to stop everything. And if he's heading to the door, I'm going to make sure a buddy's going into the bathroom. Outside, there's thousands of different ways to disappear. So make sure you have this. All right, how about special things? How about water? Cub Scouts, they can do things in the water, right? Absolutely. I know a lot of Cub Scout leaders going, no. We may go to the local swimming pool where there's lots of lifeguards, but that's all we do. Why? Now, it's all about safety, don't get me wrong. Let's not go willy-nilly and, you know what? We're going to go over out to this area we've never been swimming before and we're just going to jump right in. Okay, that's just dumb. We're not going to do that. But Guide to Safe Scouting is very specific on what Cub Scouts can do. You know, we've got boys in boats. Okay? This is a Cub Scout camp. We've got a swimmer in every boat. We've got people whose job it is to be looking out, counting boats, and know. Anytime we're going to go in the swimming area, it's been walked out. When we go to pools, we have lifeguards, whether they are official lifeguards or ESA lifeguards who've got certifications. We got parents who know what their job is. Absolutely. They say, oh, it all sounded really bad. Well, I did something fun. I'll always have a blast. And so the parents, it's just about a little bit of planning. Okay? Swim in known waters. All right? How many of you guys have ever had a den meeting outside? A lot of you. That's a really easy one, right? You go out, whether it was we're going to walk along a trail, we're going to look at rocks, whatever. I mean, we've had some that are outside with crafts. We've done nature walks. We've done leave no trace. We specifically do leave no trace outside. We do tons and tons of them outside. You can do anything outside that you can do inside. With a couple caveats. Just remember that if you're going to be doing a craft or something, you need tables. Okay? You know, the boys spread everything out on the ground, unless the craft is something that they're building that's sort of ground-ish. Like, you know, I'm building, you know, we're going to build a series, like a rock cairn or something like that. Okay, that's one thing. But you need to be aware of this. Be aware, once again, of weather. Okay? Never mess with weather. If in doubt, move to safety. Pack meetings. Pack meetings are a little harder because of the size of the groups, but they're just as easy. You can go out and do all kinds of fun things. My pack does several pack meetings outside of weather. The hardest part about pack meetings is the fact that you've got so many possible other adults and non-scouts in the group. So you need to sort of think through, where are they going to sit? Can they get access? You know, you don't need grandma falling down a hill to a place that you're going to have your pack meeting. You need to find safe ways to have all the families involved, right? All right, don't forget, sometimes you need to think ahead. plan. Pavilions require reservations. Some of them cost money. There's going to be all kinds of other things going on. A PAC meeting out and about is even more chaos than a PAC meeting in a cafeteria or wherever, because there are other things going on, other people who can be there, other sounds, other distractions. Remember we talked about the nature being a big, wild wonder area? Well, the boys are like, did you see that bird? Did you see that bird? While you're doing a PAC meeting. You're going to have to accept it, and truthfully, if you're smart, you actually incorporate those kind of things in your PAC meeting to where you're playing with the chaos. It's easier to swim with the current than against the current. Okay. Safety. Okay. Fire safety gear close. If you're gonna have a fire. If you don't know what fire safety gear is, it's a bucket with water or sand, or both. A rake, small, and a small little shovel. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And somebody should be assigned. You're going to have a fire. Assign one adult exclusively to be the fire master, whose job it is to maintain that fire until it's dead and cold, and you can put your hand in it. Okay, if that person leaves, then you do a tag with somebody else and say, you are now the fire master, and now it's their job. But make sure it's not left to the group, because it'll never get done. All right? How about other fun things? You guys do water rocket launches? You ever done those? Yeah. Awesome. All it is a Coke bottle or whatever, and you put a little bit of water in it, you pressurize it up, they pull the pin, 200 feet in the air. Awesome. I'm willing to bet if you've never done these, ask your district roundtable commissioner if they have some, or there's any units in your district that have some, and you can borrow them. My district maintains at least 8 or 10 because we actually do a district event, which is water rocket launches. My pack owns 2 or 3. These are my packs right here. They are such a fun thing. It is a wonderful pack meeting. It is the very last pack meeting of our school year. See all these kids right here? About a third of them are my Cub Scouts. The other 2/3 are their friends. Join the scouting. How does that work? Did you have a good time? We're going to do a lot of fun things during the summer, and here's our list of the fun things we're going to do. And they're all outdoors. This is great. This is how we use for recruiting. The boys are working with their parents building a rocket that I can build a water rocket in less than 5 minutes. It's just a couple pieces of cardboard, some tape, and a bottle. It's really not that hard. Yes?
Can you tell me, how do you get 200 feet? What do you got?
When you're pressurizing it, it's being held, and the water itself is your fuel. The air that's being pressurized is going to push the fuel out, causing it to go out. See, you're actually seeing the trail of the water that's being pushed out of the water. The rockets are about right here in this picture. As soon as we pressurized it to about 80 psi.
Using what?
Well, we used to do a bicycle pump, and then we got lazy, so I have a 3-gallon compressor over to the side. Now, well, we're launching 400 times. My arms were falling off, and I couldn't get enough adults. Okay, it's almost ready. Okay, go ahead. And the kids have a great time, and we can move through really fast. But yeah, there's lots of opportunities there. Okay, you've got my card. Send me an email, and I'll send you information about them as well, because they are awesome. I tell you what, this is my boys' biggest thing of the year. They love doing this. Plus, it's usually warm, and getting wet's not a bad thing. All right? When you're outside, though, one thing to do is make sure you know your boys, okay? Now, if you're going on a hike or whatever, there's a physical limitation, but you also need to understand a lot of what's going on boys, but this applies both inside and outside, okay? This is about knowing what makes them tick and what makes them happy. It doesn't mean you change your entire program to and limit the joy and the other program and everybody else, but you know their limitations. Take a look at this group right here. These 4 boys and 3 other adults, we went up to in Goshen, Big Rock, and we had a great time. It was a fun time. Okay, the 3 adults about had heart attacks. The kids were great. They're like, come on, you guys are falling behind. Like, 1 second. Oh, 1 second. We'll be there in a minute. Okay, that's the limitation of your adults. The boys. Now, this is my son Robert. Robert has a few physical differences. I know his limitations. I've got an eye on him to make sure that he is not feeling overly discouraged, that he's still part of the group. They worked as a team and got there and had a great time because each of us knew each of the boys' quirks and limitations. You know that about your boys. If you're a den leader, you know your den. If you're a cub master, I'm hoping that you know most of your boys. Maybe not to the depth of your den leaders, but your den leaders do. And so you know your den leaders and know who can tell you what's going to happen. All these things are titles we've seen. Okay, throw those out for a minute. It's about each boy as an individual. And make sure every single one of them knows that it's do your best, not be the best. That is Cub Scouting right there. And I tell my boys this all the time. Let's go out here and let's do our best. And then they feel discouraged when they're not the winner. I didn't say be the best. I said do your best. Did you do everything you could do? Yeah. Then that's all we can ask. Great job. Yes?
Can you or anyone else in the room talk about Goshen and your thoughts about rising bears? Are they old enough to handle Goshen?
Last you want to turn?
I love Goshen.
Limit to 60 seconds.
Understood. It's a great opportunity. All right, you do have to be a little cautious of the parents. Not all parents are going to be ready to send them 4 hours away to a 6-week camp. If they're not ready, if the parents are ready or don't think the boys are ready, Snyder's a good opportunity. But God bless Goshen. You are out there. You're living the Boy Scout dream. There's a viewing rock hike right there that is amazing view that the boys
right
can
here,
achieve.
right there.
They can do it at that age. And when you talk about wanting to get them to pumped up to be a Boy Scout, this is the place to do it. They're going to be able to see Boy Scouts shooting shotguns, see Boy Scouts driving motorboats, while getting a program specific to them.
All 4 of these boys right here are brand new Weeblo ones. And like I said, they were fine.
Next fall they would be.
They would be, they fall, they'd be 4th graders. And they did well, wonderfully.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, the other 2 adults and me, we were the ones that were actually struggling a little bit.
It's doable. It absolutely is. But you do have to know your parents a little bit, and you do have to know
It's the moms.
boys a
It's
little
the
bit.
moms.
And encourage them to co-op it. You can have parents come and co-op it, and they can come spend 1 or 2
More
nights.
comfortable with their kids going. We had parents going for 3 days and the other one come in.
Okay, dude, I'm gonna keep your card.
Yeah, it's wonderful. All right, well, what else can you do? Okay, camping, hikes. I know there are thousands of things here. Let's talk about a couple of them. Okay, camping. You guys go camping, right? Gosh, I hope so. Are you saying no, really, or are you being sarcastic?
We do it once a year. It's the last thing.
Okay.
we do. I
You
mean,
need to multiply
this is
that
my
by at
second
least
year.
2.
This is my second year. We've only done it.
Our pack truck does at least 2. I do 2 outdoors. We do 1 indoor one too. A camp in like in February, January, February. The reason we do that is because just get the boys together and we do something like indoor Olympics, or we make these little rockets out of straws or something silly. That allows us to get together and we like to show a movie on the wall. And that's like camping sort of too. And then we try every other year to do camping in the summer. So that was harder because it's hard to get enough people together to make it worthwhile. But camping is a wonderful opportunity for the boys just to be boys and get dirty. It's also the perfect time for the families to get closer together because mom and dad are out there and they can't go to their computer and they're, and I got to take a couple things, okay, because they don't have time for that. They're out in the dirt here too, trying to, set up tents. Some of them have done it. Some of them have never done it. Be part of the cooking, the campfire, and everything else. You can make this as in-depth or as not in-depth as you want it to be. But the key here is it's a wonderful family time. Camping skills. I obviously take anywhere from tigers to Weeblo 2s camping. My Weeblo 2s have the responsibility of looking after the tigers. I've given them responsibility. Go make sure that each of the tiger boys and their parents are doing okay. They may not know all the answers or be able to help all the way, but they can at least go there, how are you doing? Oh, I know how to do this. Let's try this. And then they can come get an adult to help if they need to. Okay? Food prep. It is never a bad idea for your bears and above to be involved with a lot of the food prep. By that point, they're doing whittling chip, and they should be able to help you do some and understand cross-contamination and all this kind of stuff. My tigers and my wolves, go get the plates, go get the cups. I may not give them as much of the food prep, because let's face it, I really don't want my food on the ground 14 times before it actually gets cooked. But if you like a little grit, it's okay. And let's face it, most Cub Scout camping is 24 hours. Think about it. You're right, it is 24 hours. It could be the wettest, horriblest time. You survive. And truthfully, you have some great stories, because later on it's like, I went camping, I took a tent that I used to use as a Boy Scout. It was one of my favorite tents. And it rained and it leaked like a sieve. It was horrible. There was more rain in the tent than out of the tent. My son woke up, and he's dripping wet, and he goes, "Oh, Dad, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "What?" "I must have peed tent. And I'm like, son, God's peeing in the tent, you're fine. And he's just like, okay, and he lays back down, and he's in water up to his mouth, he's blowing bubbles. I'm like, come on, son, we gotta get out of the tent before you drown. Okay. But you know what? These are the kind of fun stories. These is family. Okay, some of your parents go, oh, it's raining, I don't really want to go. Incredibly fair weather. But you know what? Eventually, they're going to enjoy it, and eventually they're going to get there, and it's fair weather for the first couple hours, and there's a little bit of rain. See, it wasn't so bad. And not everybody's the camper, got it. But give them the opportunity to do so. Okay? It is wonderful to do. It's great going out, the smell of the wood, the boys with the s'mores, and the stories, songs. This is what scouting is. In most people's minds, this and the Norman Rockwell picture of scouts being incredibly, being incredible citizens, those are the two things that they think of, right? That's it. Okay, what kind of skills can you teach? What can't you teach? I run a map and compass course almost every other camp I go to, and the boys who go to it earn a belt loop. Bing, and a skill. Bing, and it's something that takes up 2 hours. Bing, it's great. These are wonderful things. You know, cold weather packing. I'm not the best at forestry. That's a tree, that's a tree, that's a tree. That's what I got. But look at your pack families. There are people in your families that have amazing skills and backgrounds, and you just don't even know it. You know, a geologist. Well, this is kind of right on. Well, you come over here, boys, come here, quick, quick, quick. We're going to talk rocks. It's a wonderful opportunity for the parents to step forward. And who doesn't like being able to pass along those kind of skills? That's the kind of fun thing. And the boys, their sons, are just being, yeah, that's my mom and that's my dad. Yeah. And it's wonderful for them. Tons of things. Whittling chimp, perfect opportunity. Blood circles, really big ones. You know? If you're trying to teach that in a more school atmosphere, no knives at school. Remember? Probably should do that. Camping. Good stuff. Okay? Hikes. How about that? Boys, the Cub Scouts are not Boy Scouts. They're probably in better shape than we are as adults, but they're still not Boy Scouts. We're going to do a 15-mile hike. No, you're not. These are Cub Scouts. Could they probably do it? Maybe. But that's not appropriate. You know, it should be, the level of difficulty should match their skill set, their age group. If you're going to take Tigers on a little hike, we made that hike through Leesburg, a historic trail. The hike itself was going to be 5 miles through downtown Leesburg. 5 miles to a tiger is like 42 miles to you and me. Their legs are only this long. Come on. We had a great time, and I cut it down to about 1.5 miles. I kept sort of keeping an eye on them, and when we start seeing the lack of enthusiasm, and we're done. We're going to leave this hike with everybody happy and excited. Right? That's what we do. You judge the difficulty with the boys you have. Ratio. 1 to 2. At the worst. It really should be 1 to 1. I mean, you can do, but in reality, the adults should be there because Cub Scouts are not Boy Scouts. If Boy Scouts go out and they have 3 ASMs and they have 14, Scouts, that's pretty good. That's not Cub Scouts. Boy, parent, boy, parent, boy, parent, right? Maybe brothers, parent. That's why the 1 to 2 sort of fits in there. Triplets, okay, and sisters, and
pets.
And 3-year-old, and pets, and dogs, and you name it. This is great. Buddy system. Cub Scouts are not very good, just like Boy Scouts are not very good about paying attention to their water intake. Neither are adults. Make sure you're watching that. Shoes. I'm wearing my Crocs. That's okay, right? No. No. And adults need to understand what they're signing up for and what we're going to do. Let's face it. That's very important. All right? You guys heard this one? At the very least, if you've never heard this, you've seen this, because this usually was really big when we were all in high school. Matter of fact, my health and PE score was directly related to how well I did in the presidential. Yeah, that was great. So, this is a program that is available for all ages. It's a wonderful one to add in there. Outside activities. Okay, remember, Journey to Excellence now has a fitness component to it. All your units, remember this part, are trying to work toward your Journey to Excellence, and there's a fitness section. Don't shortchange it. The boys have a great time doing it. It's very easy. 60 minutes a day for kids under 18, you know, at least 5 days a week. Really? I'm hoping that every single kid is getting more than 60 minutes of some type of physical activity per day. Gosh, I hope so. As an adult, I'm struggling with that. And I really shouldn't. I really should put it on my calendar, and it should be a block, and I should make it just as important as everything else. You know, these are fun things. There are hundreds of outdoors activities that work towards this program. What do you think about this? Belt loops. I don't think there's a single belt loop you can do outside. Not a single one. If you can't find something to do outside, you're not looking. Now, remember, the ones that are copper colored, those are the only ones that you cannot do on your own. Those have to be done at Boy Scout camps. Those are part of the range, BBs and archery. But all the rest of them, anywhere, everywhere. Weevil pens. Gosh, there's none of them either. We just never go outside. Kidding me? Tons of them. Opportunities galore. Ceremonies? You guys ever do ceremonies outside? Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Nature is the best place for a ceremony. Here we are camping. This is one of our summer campings. And we're going to do a couple flag retirements. Okay? First thing people say is, well, your boys aren't in uniform. I don't care. My boys understand how important the ceremony is going to be. They're providing the necessary level of reverence for it. And they did their best. Look at the faces on these boys right here. These boys know that they're about to do something that's very important. They happen to be wearing, all three of them, their Cub Scout t-shirt for our pack, which is good. But even if that hadn't been, I wouldn't have minded. Because I wanted them to be involved with the ceremony. I mean, let's face it, most parents don't want their kids going out in their $25, $30 Cub Scout shirt and rolling around in the dirt and camping. You may wear it to the campsite and then switch into something else. But that's usually the way it is because, let's face it, we have to make sure the parents are happy in that regard too. Okay? Ceremonies book. It's a wonderful resource. But let's face it, online, if you did a search for Cub Scout or Boy Scout ceremonies, you're going to get 10,000 hits. Minimum. And you can make up your own. Make it up, write it down, pass it along. Be your legacy for your unit. And then before you know it, your pack will have a book of 20 of them. Okay. Okay, how about you can do pretty much anything. Rank advancements, project awards, birthday recognitions, everything outside. Okay? The key to ceremonies is brevity. Because let's face it, Cub Scouts have an attention span of about 5 minutes. Parents have about 3. 5 minutes for boys. So, unless the ceremony is incredibly captivating, at 5 minutes you start to lose them. Okay? A flag retirement ceremony, what we do a lot of these, is we involve the boys in it as well, so I'm sort of cheating the 5 minutes a little bit. But if it's just them sitting back watching something, 5 minutes, that's all you got, even outdoors. Okay? Let's talk about flag retirements for a second. There is a wonderful opportunity to teach boys so many things in this. Number 1, respect for our flag. Number 2, an understanding that we have a responsibility to maintain as citizens. Okay? But a flag becomes too faded or tattered to be an appropriate symbol for the United States. It should be retired by fire, so they can no longer be recognized as the flag of the United States. There are so many different ways. There's a cut method, no cut method. There's probably, I can think of at least 5 or 6 ways that you can do this. I use the cut method. Here's what I do. I cut each one of this is not one of those, but I cut the stripes now. And I give 1 stripe to each one of the boys. And I have them, before they throw it into the fire, say something they're thankful for. Once again, I've cheated the 5-minute rule. I've got them thinking about something they're thankful for, and they usually say the most amazing things. Okay? The key to flag retirement is safety, though. Most of the flags you find now are nylon. They go, they melt. This one right here, these boys, this is deceptive. They're actually quite a few feet away, and there's an adult behind each one of them that would reach and bring in to make sure no one's hurt. Safety is always important. And I usually recover the grommets. I've got 2 on my belt right here, and I take them and I give them to the boys that were the color guard or to the person who donated the flag. Just adds a little more to it. All right. Field trips. We live in the Washington metro area. If you cannot find a place to go as far as a field trip in this area, you are not looking. There are a minimum of 20 trail medals available in a 50-mile radius of Washington, D.C. There are patches galore. There are tons and tons of historic locations, battlefields, wonderful opportunities. Okay? Here's just a couple of them. TheCarolinaTrader.com has a book that will actually can send you with a list of all of them, and then they can send you individual little booklets. I love these guys. They maintain a wonderful list of trails. Here's my Tigers, a million years ago, in downtown Leesburg. And we just finished our hike, and we went and had hot chocolate afterwards. And it was the best time ever. But we were outdoors the whole time. Great. We're in the 150th anniversary of the American Civil War. There are battlefields on the war and tons of reenactments, everything. War of 1812, we're in the middle of that one too. There's all these possibles all the time. How about being in a parade? You know, tons of opportunities to go put American flags on Veterans Day, you know, Memorial Day at your local cemeteries. All kinds of opportunities. Service projects? Yeah. Remember, Journey to Excellence. Service projects are included in there. And it should be you in a partnership with your charter organization. Find out what's important. Hey, clean up a stream, pick up garbage, help someone else. I mean, there are tons of opportunities. You know, assist a person with special needs. You know, man a water station in a fun run. Tons of things outside. Tons of opportunities. Cub Scout World Conservation Award. That award is one most people, I'm not sure I know all the requirements for it. It's very simple. Earning a couple of specific rank requirements and doing a project. It's very easy. It's very outdoorsy. All right. Summer camp. Encourage all your boys to go to summer camp. Right? That's also a journey to excellence. But let me tell you why it's the most important thing. Summer camp is truly a memory builder and also keeps the boys energized and excited about scouting. Boys who go to summer camp are 2 times more likely to stay with scouting than those who do not. Minimum. And they go and do wonderful things. And as boys, they get to shoot stuff and they get tons of fun activities and memories. Okay? Now make sure though, you're paying attention to which ones are appropriate for your age, just like your question there. Goshen is a perfect opportunity for Weeblo 1 and 2s. Camp Snyder, or maybe your local district, each one of them has their positives and negatives, but get boys to camp and start working on it early. Get someone assigned to it around January at the very latest to start talking about your pack and start signing people up. Your district is constantly having events outside. You know, fire building. We have Weeblo Zori. We have where Boy Scouts are setting up their teaching skill sets. These are opportunities. Cubmobile, soapbox, water rocket launches, hiking events. There are 1,000 opportunities to be outside. You guys know this one? Outdoor Activity Award? Patch actually goes here. The only one that's really supposed to go here on the Cub Scouts uniform, not the whittling chip. It's a wonderful opportunity and it's available for every single rank. It's about being outside. Yes, sir?
Quick question, what's Cubmobile?
Cubmobile would be a Pinewood Derby that you actually ride in. It's like a soapbox derby, right? What else? Oh my gosh, what do you mean what else? Parades, rain gutter regatta, games, bicycle rodeos, kite flying, geocaching, corn mazes. We had an astronomy night. We had a guy who really loved astronomy. He found a place that sold these telescopes. They're like $10 and you put them together. And then all the boys out there at night looking at the stars. Wonderful. And a belt loop to boot. So, tons of fun. Baseball games. Really? Frederick Keyser are wonderful. All these local minor league teams have great scout nights. And you sleep on the field after. The best sleeping camping you'll ever go because it's nice and cushy grass. There's not a single rock and not a single root. Beautiful. All right. So what's the conclusion? Outdoors means flexibility. Okay? That's number one. And if you don't realize that up front, you're going to get discouraged with being outdoors. Because it takes a little more planning. And you got to know what's going to happen if it's going to rain. And I got to know a little more about safety. And I gotta worry a little bit more about boys wandering away, okay? Those sound like, oh, this is more trouble than it's worth. The dividend is huge, but you gotta know that you gotta be flexible, okay? Use the environment. Perfect opportunity to use location, changing light, sounds, wonderful. This goes for everything, whether you're outside or not. Always involve as many boys and adults as possible. Cub Scouts are boys. Encourage them to be boys. Encourage your parents to be young kids too. It's about safety, yes, but it's about having fun. Channeling that inner child. And exercise is great. The very, very best memories ever are your outside memories. Whether it be scouting or not. They're the most vivid. Because outside is also the most vivid. The most colors. The most senses are involved. The wind in your face, or maybe it was a mist, whatever was going on. These kind of things are what are going to create these incredibly life-changing memories in your head that you'll always have. Utilize these for scouting, because scouting is an adventure. And the adventure is outside. All right. Thank you so much.